So we recently got some groundbreaking news regarding Governor Andrew Cuomo and the nursing home situation that was really talked about a while ago. I think it was like around last May or so when it was really getting a lot of attention. But it just came back to the surface because one of Cuomo's aides admitted that they hid nursing home data so the feds wouldn't find out. So what I have in front of me right here is an article from the New York Post, and I'll read you a bit of it. Governor Andrew Cuomo's top aide privately apologized to Democratic lawmakers for withholding the state's nursing home death toll from COVID-19, telling them we froze, out of fear that the true numbers would be used against us by federal prosecutors. The sunny admission of a cover-up was made by Secretary to the Governor Melissa DeRosa during a video conference with the state Democratic leaders in which she said the Cuomo administration had rebuffed a legislative request for the tally in August because right around the same time, then President Donald Trump turns this into a giant political football. So she talks about how he starts tweeting that they killed everyone in the nursing homes and how he was going after, the governor of New Jersey, the governor of California, and the governor of Michigan. In addition to attacking Cuomo's fellow Democratic governors, DeRosa said, Trump directs the Department of Justice to do an investigation into us, she said. And basically, we froze. Because then we were in a position where we weren't sure if what we were going to give the Justice Department or what we give to you guys, what we start saying was going to be used against us, while we weren't sure if there was going to be an investigation. That played a very large role into this, she says. But instead of a mea culpa to the grieving family members of more than 13,000 dead seniors, or the critics who say the health department spread COVID-19 in the care facilities with a March 25th state health department directive that nursing homes admit infected patients, DeRosa tried to make amends with the fellow Democrats for the political inconvenience it cost them. And I quote, "So we do apologize," she said. "I do understand the position that you were put in. I know it's not fair. It was not our intention to put you in that political position with the Republicans." Assemblyman Ron Kim says he took part in the call as well. He says it sounded like they admitted that they were trying to dodge having any incriminating evidence that might put the administration or the health department in further trouble with the DOJ. That's how I understand their reasoning of why they were unable to share in real time the data. So it goes on to say that the DOJ isn't really looking at this that closely anymore. They're not really paying much attention. But if you remember when all this was really going on, and that's the article from the New York Post, Governor Cuomo was being exalted. I mean, people were really loving this guy. I'll play a little bit of it right here.
David, we're standing by for Governor Cuomo's press conference, his daily briefing. How would you contrast Cuomo and President Trump's handling of the crisis?
Truth versus mendacity.
Governor Cuomo out there day after day after day, everything Trump isn't. Honest, direct, brave.
Real leadership of the kind the President of the United States should have provided.
Governor Cuomo is clearly living in a totally different reality, the actual one, than the President of the United States.
Governor Cuomo has become a national leader.
For a lot of people, Andrew Cuomo has become the leader of the Democratic Party.
He is conveying incredible strength.
You spoke to National Guard troops today in a stirring speech that, if I wasn't listening carefully, I thought you were sending soldiers off to war.
This has been a remarkable show of leadership by Governor Cuomo in recent days. He's providing hope, but not false hope.
Governor Cuomo, I think, is one of the heroes on the front lines.
With all of this adulation that you're getting for doing your job, are you thinking about running for president?
Andrew Cuomo, who has a daily television show now and has become in some ways the shadow president.
Maybe Trump is just a little bit mad that Governor Cuomo has become a kind of acting president.
Dealing with hardship actually makes you stronger. That's what Governor Cuomo said earlier today. That's what I'm going to go teach my kids right now at home.
So as you saw there, they were just groveling at his feet. And Brian Stelter, man, that guy is such a cuck. To any Democratic leader, any Democratic politician, corporate Democratic politician, he's a cuck. He's just, I want to show my kids. Oh, God, please kill me. So this guy was being exalted while all of this was going on, and they were covering it up because they didn't want to incriminate themselves, because they were afraid. And she had the nerve to apologize, not to the families of the patients, but to the Democrats for putting them in a bad position politically. Guys, if you needed a more stark example of corruption, here you go. Here you go. If you needed a better example of politicians being nasty and grimy and just dishonest and liars, here you go. And I have to tell you, they need to look into this immediately, and they need to see who they can prosecute and what they can get him on, because this is absolutely ridiculous. He was going on his brother's show like every other day. I remember when this was going on. He was going on his brother's show, and they were just cracking jokes, and he would go on every other corporate news channel, and they would love him. I just played the video for you. I mean, wow, I think he wrote a book. His approval rating was really good at the time because of all the endless propaganda they were spewing about this man. This is sad. This is really sad. This is really sad. And I remember back during this time, he was also kind of like lobbying for cuts to different like welfare programs and whatnot. It's just a bad situation, man. And this is a very stark example of pure corruption and pure dishonesty. And they really, really need to be disciplined for this, because if they're not, then this sets an awful precedent. It's already setting off. I mean, it's sad to say, but things like this happen in Washington and with our government. I mean, politicians feel like they can do things like this. They feel like they can withhold very important data of people that have died, people that have families, because they don't want to get in any kind of trouble. And then when it finally comes to light, don't apologize to the families, to the people that are passed. Apologize to the Democrats for putting them in a bad position politically. Say, oh, well, Donald Trump was coming at us saying that we killed people. Well, you kind of did. You kind of did by allowing the nursing homes to admit COVID-infected people. This is just a huge fuck up on the part of Cuomo, the media, and everybody involved with this. And I guarantee you, not many media outlets, corporate media outlets, are going to talk about this. And to the extent they do, they're not going to be very critical of Cuomo, because that's just who they are. And it's extremely sad.